Do you remember being a kid and seeing something so impressive and amazing that it just stuck with you your entire life?
I'm still a kid, so everything.
Just play along, because I'm about to tell you a very special science story.
Is that one that starts in the 1900s with a paleontologist named Earl Douglas discovering a massive tomb of dinosaurs in Utah, hundreds of fossils all piled together in a breathtaking spectacle of dinosaur awesomeness. A discovery so big, everyone knew it was special.
Yeah, it's that one. And what Douglas did doesn't just belong in the past. His choices directly impacted me as a future scientist, as a science communicator, as a mom to a scientist in training. So I guess, by extension, you could say that Douglas even influenced you.
I'm a T-Rex.
Well, I don't think he turned you into a T-Rex.
I'm an Allosaurus, and I'm more accurate.
Thank you. We're talking Jurassic dinosaurs, people.
Welcome to Dinosaur National Monument, where the monsters of the Mesozoic are laid out before you in a stunning display.
The fossils here tell a story not just about dinosaurs, but also about perseverance and discovery and the dogged commitment of Earl Douglas to inspire future generations. People like us. So let's go check it out.
Utah's kind of far away.
Well, we'll do the magic of YouTube.
I'm a dinosaur. I'm sorry. I spoke dinosaur there because I'm at Dinosaur National Monument for the second time. Because the first time I was in kindergarten or first grade, and we didn't have a YouTube channel then. So, but now that I have a YouTube channel, I'm here again. And I get to see dinosaurs. Let's go. Yes.
Our story begins in the scorching summer of 1909 with paleontologist Earl Douglas, who found himself in the harsh landscape of eastern Utah, tasked by the Carnegie Museum of Natural History in Pittsburgh to find a dinosaur that would captivate the world.
But Douglas wasn't originally interested in dinosaurs. His focus was on mammalian fossils.
But by the turn of the 20th century, museums and their wealthy benefactors, folks like steel magnate Andrew Carnegie, were gripped by dinosaur fever.
If you find yourself with dinosaur fever, please take...
What's the cure for dinosaur fever?
Side effects of dinosaur fever may result in the wanting to own a dinosaur.
Consider this. Do you have dinosaur fever? Anyway, in 1877, the classic dino giants like Stegosaurus and Diplodocus and Brontosaurus, Apatosaurus and Allosaurus were all discovered in Colorado, igniting a race to fill museum halls with these awe-inspiring creatures. And Carnegie's museum was no different, acquiring Diplodocus Carnegie, named after the benefactor himself, in 1901.
But one dinosaur wasn't enough. Carnegie wanted more. A giant sauropod to rival any in the world. I want all the dinos.
So in 1909, in August, museum director William Jacob Holland sent a letter to Douglas, who was already in the field, and the message was loud and clear. Stop hunting for mammals and find us some dinosaurs. Like these that are showing up on my table. Now, conveniently, Douglas was already exploring an area of Utah where the Morrison Formation was exposed. Now, this rock layer dates back to the late Jurassic. It was known for yielding the giant dinosaurs that the museums craved. Douglas had even seen fossilized bone in this area the year before, he just hadn't dug it up yet. Anytime.
So, Douglas is totally in the right spot to net him some big old dinosaurs for his bosses. Yeah, good job, Douglas. Yeah.
There weren't T-Rexes there, Kai.
I know, but I couldn't find my sauropod.
It's not the right rock. Okay, sorry. But days passed with little success, and Douglas's team found only broken fossils and bones or sites that were already really picked over by other prospectors.
I'm a prospector. The search and the site seemed hopeless until August 17th, when everything changed.
That day, he climbed over the Utah sandstone, and Douglas spotted something extraordinary. 8 connected tailbones of an Apatosaurus, what he might have called a Brontosaurus, but we all know is totally not what we would call it today. A long-necked giant sauropod from the late Jurassic.
As he dug, he uncovered more and more bones, leading to the discovery of what would become the Carnegie Quarry.
Over the next decade or so, 300 tons of fossils were excavated from this one site, including new species and delicate skulls and beautifully preserved skeletons, showcasing an incredibly rich and extensive fossil history drawn from one location. What you got here, mister?
What we got here is a bunch of dinosaurs at Dinosaur National Monument. I'm seeing on my hat, because I love this hat. So, we've got a lot of Jurassic dinosaurs like Diplodocus, Apatosaurus, Read this if you want to learn Morasaurus, Allosaurus, Ceratosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, Caprosuchus, Dryosaurus, a lot of dinosaurs, as you can see by reading this. Also other animals, but we don't care about those. Boring. But one little fun thing, there's only one Cretaceous dinosaur that was found here, and that's the sauropod that I cannot remember the name of, but it starts with an S. Ed, you're putting its name like down there when you edit this video, okay?
Noted.
No thoughts, no ideas, no nothing, just
All there is
dinosaurs.
dinosaurs.
But why are there so many fossils so well preserved all in one place, stacked and jumbled together?
This is a good question because usually fossil hunters are lucky to find one bone, let alone a semi-complete skeleton.
Just keep going.
Okay.
This is probably why. You see, 150 million years ago, this area was a large sandy floodplain. Imagine it as a gathering spot for giant dinos, seeking water, chomping on plants, dino stuff. But when a crippling drought hit, many dinosaurs died on the spot. And then when the rains eventually returned, a river carried those remains, depositing them together here in layers of mud and sand where they eventually fossilized.
So kind of like this.
At least that's what we think happened.
I'm gonna go clean this
We
up.
need to clean that up.
Hold on. But here's the twist. Douglas's most important contribution wasn't just discovering these fossils.
While he worked, he interacted with the constant stream of curious tourists and visitors, and he saw the power of these bones to educate and inspire people. He also built relationships with the local residents who recognized the quarry's potential as a tourist destination to provide an economic boost for the area.
However, Carnegie's primary interest was in the fossils, not in boosting local economies or inspiring future generations.
And Carnegie wanted to protect its investment at the site, maybe mostly because they wanted to make sure those bones ended up in their museum. So to this end, the museum tried to claim the site as a mineral property to preserve it for science. But the U.S. Department of the Interior ruled, fossils don't qualify as minerals under mining laws.
Nice try, Carnegie. No riz. Negative aura.
I don't know what that is. But the museum kept trying to protect the site.
And finally, the government did find a way to preserve the quarry, just probably not in the way Carnegie hoped for.
On October 4th, 1915, the U.S. government declared the 80 acres around the quarry a national monument under the provisions of the Antiquities Act, and within a year was part of the newly created National Park System.
But Douglas had a more radical idea. He knew there were still so many fossils buried in the ground.
And with the rock's unique location and tilt, he dreamed of exposing the bones to create a natural exhibit in the exact place that the bones had fossilized. So in 1923, Douglas began advocating for an in situ fossil exhibit. In a letter to the Smithsonian Institution, Douglas expressed his hope that the government would uncover a large area, leave the fossils in relief, and build an exhibit right there to protect the Mesozoic treasure, creating one of the most astounding and instructive sites imaginable.
And that's exactly what happened. Eventually.
Yeah, it took a while, but by 1958, the remaining fossils were exposed in a beautiful bas-relief display housed in a first-of-its-kind exhibit space open to the public. Just as Douglas envisioned, his dream of inspiring future generations became a reality. Now, it was Earl Douglas's vision that some of the bones would remain here in place for scientific and educational purposes to help inspire future generations. And I have to say, that kind of worked. So when I was a little girl watching Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton came here and studied with paleontologists.
A dinosaur.
It's a real live dinosaur. When I was a little girl watching Reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton came here, and I remember him standing at this wall of dinosaur bones, and I was so amazed that there were places in the world where I could see fossils in the rock. And it really inspired me, and it's still a memory I think to this day inspires me to do what I do.
And what happened while I was gone?
Just try to tell an inspiring story, and this is what happens.
Today, visitors can walk right up to the fossil-filled wall to see the bones where they lay. And we have Earl Douglas to thank.
And it's awesome to see. But Dinosaur National Monument is so much more than a fossil site. It's a lasting legacy that connects the past with the future. Even though Earl Douglas didn't live to see his dreams fulfilled, he never gave up on the idea that future generations, like us, would be inspired by the wall of dinos in the eastern Utah desert. Thanks, Earl.
Right.
He's got dino fever, I think. Better go get the cure for dino fever. Gonna need the elixir.